Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Renegade Immortal episode number 536 based on novel. So let's start. Heavenly Tao. Wang Lin's mind went blank. What he found inside the Allseer's reincarnation cycle was difficult to believe. The Heavenly Tao everyone had been searching for was actually the Allseer. Looking at the young man that had adjusted his own face with his hand, Wang Lin found it difficult to settle down the waves that had been set off in his heart. He was like the lonely boat in the raging sea that was constantly surging. Under his gaze, the young man maintained his smile and disappeared into the distance. The star system gradually disappeared and collapsed before Wang Lin, but Wang Lin was still in shock. Outside, in the summoned river, Wang Lin's avatar's face was pale. Veins would appear and disappear all over his face. Countless of the Allseer's avatar's souls were entering Wang Lin's avatar one by one, trying to take it over. As those souls fused, the Allseer's gloomy voice echoed inside the mind of Wang Lin's avatar. How can you compete with this old man? This old man can take over your body now. Has your original body found this old man's original body? More than 1,000 Allseer souls from the summoned river and brilliant void had already fused with Wang Lin's avatar. The ones from the cloud sea and all heaven were closing in. When the image of the Allseer's second awakening collapsed, Wang Lin saw the scene of the Allseer's first awakening. The star system went blurry and then collapsed. Eventually, everything disappeared. Then a huge door appeared before Wang Lin. This door was so large that it gave Wang Lin the illusion he was an ant. It was different from the door that appeared inside the heaven-defying bead. This door didn't give off the majestic aura, and it seemed to have integrated with the world. Wang Lin didn't know what was behind the door, but he heard thunderous rumbles come from the other side. It was as if the door had been hit by an incredible force from outside. The door suddenly trembled. As it trembled, Wang Lin saw a crack appear on it, and cracking sounds echoed as the crack spread. It continued to spread as if it was going to split the door in half. The thunderous rumbles became even more intense. In just a moment, the door split apart into several pieces and scattered. This door was so big that even after it cracked, it didn't shatter into dust. It split into several parts and flew off in all directions due to the impact. The parts were too fast and disappeared without a trace. One part of the door was pushed far away into a part of space that would become the brilliant void. This fragment shattered into more and tore apart space itself. The fragment sank into the spatial rifts. The large amount of door fragments fused with the void, causing space itself to become unstable and creating a spatial rift. The fragments from the door existed here, unchanged for countless years. After many years, a group from the Four Divine sect came after using some unknown method and looked for a cultivation planet. They covered up the instability here and covered up that spatial rift. They connected that spatial rift with the planet. That group of cultivators eventually left. The spatial rift would occasionally appear here as time passed. This was found by some of the talented cultivators on the planet, and they borrowed it. It eventually became the foreign battleground. The moment the giant door split, Wang Lin saw a ball of fog smash through the collapsed door. Inside the fog, Wang Lin sat the figure of a person for an instant. He couldn't see that person's appearance, but he could hear the thunderous roar they let out. Heavenly Tao. You actually obtained a Heavenly Tao. Damn it, this king doesn't approve. The roar turned into a hiss at the end. A terrifying rumble came from the fog. As the rumble echoed, the endless fog began to move. A powerful force seemed to be tearing the fog, causing it to be split apart. This fog was split into two clusters, one big and one small. The big cluster of fog held the figure whose roars had turned weak. It flew off into the unknown. The smaller cluster flew toward the opposite direction. The smaller cluster continued to move, shrinking as it flew away. Wang Lin could faintly see that the fog wasn't empty but contained a half-circular fragment. This half-circular fragment was blurry, but it was clear it was the core of this small cluster of fog. As it flew, the cloud of fog became smaller and smaller until it disappeared completely. It had fully condensed into the half-circular fragment, and it flew until it landed on a cultivation planet. There was no life on that planet, only a low mountain. The fragment smashed down like a meteor and landed on the mountain. The mountain collapsed and the fragment penetrated deep into the heart of the planet before stopping. Wang Lin witnessed all of this. He stared at the half-circular fragment inside the planet. There was still ancient text engraved on it. It looked like half a compass. Or to be more accurate, it was half of a certain compass. Time passed. After an unknown amount of years, there was still no life on this planet. However, the fog that condensed into the compass gradually appeared. This fog came out in strands and gathered together to form a blurry figure. This figure slowly became more clear until a young man appeared. This young man had his eyes closed and floated above the half compass. After a long time, he opened his eyes, and they were filled with confusion. I gained a spirit. I remember being summoned by Master and devouring that celestial. That celestial blew up to stop my devouring. Then I was split up. Who am I? The young man closed his eyes, seeming to be pondering. A moment later, he suddenly opened his eyes, and his eyes revealed a strange light. I'm the heavenly Tao. I should not have a spirit, but when that celestial blew up, I absorbed some. I absorbed some of his divine sense. I gained intelligence, the young man murmured as if he understood everything. When Wang Lin saw this, he understood a lot. He understood why Lian Daofei had become a madman, why the Lian Daofei he saw in the dream of the seven-colored Daoist was so arrogant and unreasonable. He was like a different person compared to the madman that Wang Lin knew. Right now, Wang Lin's mind became clear. Lian Daofei is indeed someone who did as he wished on the immortal astral continent. Maybe he really did have a brother with very high status. This all caused his personality to become strange and arrogant. According to my understanding, as long as he fancied something, whether it was treasure or people, he would steal it without hesitation. If he can't steal it, then he will do this best and even kill the other party's entire sect to satisfy his greed. It was also his greed and personality that lured him into the cave of the seven-colored celestial sovereign to steal what he wanted. But in the end, he was devoured by the heavenly Tao and exploded his divine sense. Most of his greed and bad personality were absorbed by this part of the heavenly Tao. That's why the madman I met is completely different than before. Otherwise, with his personality, how could he give me the celestial bloodline and teach me spells? He would have done everything he could to achieve his goal. By contrast, I like the current madman more. Wang Lin's eyes lit up as he looked at the young man floating above the half compass. The young man looked at the compass and pondered. This half of the defying compass is my original body. This aura is something no one can detect. Leaving it here would be the safest option. The young man drifted away and disappeared from the inside of the planet to somewhere unknown. Wang Lin ignored the young man's departure and stared at the half compass. He memorized everything here and the aura of this planet. Then he suddenly closed his eyes. The moment he closed his eyes, everything here silently collapsed. The Allseer's more than 90 reincarnations ended. When Wang Lin closed his eyes, his dream ended. He opened his eyes and saw Tao Master Blue Dream, Qing Lin, and Master Hong Shan. He saw that this avatar was about to be completely taken over in the summoned river. I found his original body. You three seniors don't need to come with me. I hope you three can help me control my avatar to buy me more time. Wang Lin stood up and clasped his hands at the three of them. He then took a step forward and charged off into the distance. Allseer, the game is about to end. Wang Lin's original body rushed through the stars, moving at a speed much faster than his avatar. He wasn't flying using brute force or integrating with the world, he was ripping the world apart to move forward. Wang Lin's right hand would rip the space before him as he stepped forward. A thunderous rumble echoed as the space before him was torn open. He would then instantly enter the rift, and when he reappeared, he had already left the summoned river. Using this outrageous method, Wang Lin's speed reached the peak of what his body was capable of. In the entire cave world, only Wang Lin could dare to move like this. The inside of the spatial rifts were filled with destructive turbulence, and the cultivators' bodies could not withstand this kind of impact. Even ancient demons and ancient devils would find it difficult to withstand this destructive storm. An ancient god may survive a few times but couldn't do it for long. Only an ancient Tao body, which was countless times stronger than an ancient god body, could do this. Only Wang Lin, who had the ancient Tao bloodline, could calmly enter the spatial rifts and move forward in such an unbelievable way while not caring about the turbulence inside. The destructive storm landed on Wang Lin's body but caused him no damage. Instead, the storm itself let out a whimper and collapsed. In the brilliant void, a giant rift appeared out of nowhere. Wang Lin's powerful body stepped out of the rift. At this moment, Wang Lin's powerful ancient Tao divine sense swept the area. Shortly after, Wang Lin suddenly opened his eyes and charged off into the distance. It had only been several breaths of time since he had awakened from his dream Tao. As Wang Lin rushed through the rifts in the summoned river, all of the Allseer's avatars' souls arrived. When the last soul entered Wang Lin's avatar suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes were filled with struggle and pain. The Allseer's soul was taking over his mind and body. Due to the reincarnation integration spell, it was impossible for anyone to interfere with this possession. Blue light surrounded Wang Lin's avatar. Tao Master Blue Dream calmly stood there and looked at Wang Lin's avatar. Qing Lin and Master Hong Shan were also there looking at Wang Lin. Different from Tao Master Blue Dream, they were not calm and looked nervously at Wang Lin's avatar. Wang Lin, are you faster than this old man? The struggle in Wang Lin's eyes became even more intense and his body trembled, his veins bulging. The ancient words came from his mouth, they were extremely strange and filled with a sense of decay. The moment Wang Lin's avatar spoke, his right eye distorted and was replaced by a shadow. He turned to look at Tao Master Blue Dream and company with his right hand. He revealed a smile of contempt. The three of you are not weak. Since you want to stop me from leaving, I'll let you witness my 99th awakening. Wang Lin's avatar's left eye trembled and then slowly calmed down, giving off a ghostly light. He sat down and closed his eyes. Wang Lin's original body could feel everything his avatar was experiencing. As Wang Lin's avatar was being taken over, a planet appeared before his original body in the brilliant void. It was an abandoned planet that was a complete waste. There was no sign of life on it and the entire planet was almost completely covered in deserts. The rivers had long dried up and the passages were covered by the desert. The seas were black and the countless rotten bodies in the seas made them very dirty. At a glance, there was a dark fog around the planet. The fog contained a large amount of poison, so much that a mortal would immediately rot and die if they breathed it. Even cultivators would frown upon facing this poison. There wasn't any spiritual energy here. As a result, no cultivator would come here. Not even poison cultivators would come, because the poison here wasn't that strong. The reason it would cause cultivators to frown was not the poison but the stench coming from all the rotting corpses. This abandoned planet was very ugly and also filled with a stench. Although almost everything here was different from the planet Wang Lin saw in the reincarnation cycles, the aura was exactly the same. This aura was the soul of this planet. Back then, the soul had just been born, and now its soul was near death, but Wang Lin could still recognize it. When Wang Lin saw this planet, he rushed forward and broke through the weak atmosphere. He landed on a continent on the planet. The moment Wang Lin arrived, the fog around the planet was pushed away as if a violent wind had swept by. It was as if a veil had been lifted, revealing everything on the planet. Wang Lin didn't hesitate when he entered the planet. After the wind swept away the fog, Wang Lin appeared above the sea. The Black Sea didn't have any waves, as if it was dead. The foul stench was even stronger, but Wang Lin didn't mind at all. He rushed into the Black Sea below. With a thunderous bang, a giant vortex appeared in the Black Sea as Wang Lin charged in. The vortex extended until it reached the sea floor. The vortex grew larger until the black silt below was revealed. The silt had been condensing for countless years and had never been exposed to the sky. At this moment, the silt was also pushed aside until the real seabed appeared. This seabed was not flat but covered in countless small mountains. This is the place. Wang Lin's eyes shined brightly and he charged forward. He ignored the foul stench and charged straight down. At the bottom of the sea, there was a cave that had appeared countless years ago. This cave was covered in brown dirt. This dirt was soil that had collapsed into the cave after the countless earthquakes over the years. Buried deep inside the dirt was half a compass. A gentle wind blew through the cave and pushed the dirt that hadn't moved for countless years to the side, revealing a corner of the buried compass. At the same time, a powerful palm grabbed the corner of the compass and pulled it out from the dirt. Wang Lin's eyes landed on the compass in his hand and shined brightly. Which of us is faster? In the summoned river, after Wang Lin's avatar closed his eyes, his face changed rapidly. In an instant, he no longer looked like Wang Lin but the white-haired Allseer. This kind of possession was like devouring, but it was different from the direct devouring he used to do. This devour was crucial, so he had chosen to devour from the inside to make sure there was no chance of a mistake. Although his eyes were closed, his body was rapidly fusing. This fusion was his slumber, and once the fusion was complete, he would awaken. This was his 99th awakening. After he awakened, he could find the other cluster of fog that was separated from him. Once he fused with it, he could take back control of fate itself. At that time, he would become an extraordinary heavenly Tao. He would have his own mind and wisdom that were beyond that of many others. He also knew spells and he could grow without others feeding him. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that once he took control of fate, the countless lives that had been born in the cave world would be controlled by him. If life was manipulated by a heavenly Tao without its own consciousness, it wouldn't pose much of a problem. However, if that heavenly Tao had its own consciousness, it would be terrifying. As long as he wanted to, he could even devour everything that came from the heavenly Tao. At that time, whatever was left had to be something that wasn't born here. They had to be the 3 souls and 7 fragments and the people of the immortal astral continent. In a short period of time, more than half of the fusion was complete. After a few breaths, the fusion was complete and the Allseer opened his eyes. The moment he opened his eyes, he revealed a smile. He raised his head and laughed. 99 awakenings, this old man has finally finished his last awakening. Heavenly Tao, this old man is the heavenly Tao. The Allseer stood up and his white hair fluttered. An ancient aura spread out from his body and a fog surrounded him. Wang Lin had seen the fog inside the reincarnation cycles, a form that belonged to the heavenly Tao. Wang Lin, your avatar has been taken. So what if your original body is not dead? This old man doesn't have time to deal with you. The Allseer's expression was fierce. He didn't even look at Tao Master Blue Dream and company. He was about to leave. However, just as he was about to move, a ray of blue light flashed before him. Tao Master Blue Dream appeared before him, preventing him from moving forward. I promised him that I wouldn't let you leave this place. Qing Lin and Master Hongshan also closed in. The Allseer's eyes lit up and he waved his sleeve. He opened his mouth and inhaled. The world trembled as if it were reversing and endless fog filled the star system, blocking their vision. However, just as the fog appeared and an illusory mouth appeared to devour the 3 of them, a burst of blue light shined. An extremely powerful aura came from light and collided with the mouth. At the same time, a cold voice filled with killing intent came from the distance. Allseer, I have brought your original body here. The fog was hit by the blue light and directly collapsed. The illusory mouth disappeared the moment it appeared. The Allseer's face was pale and his eyes were filled with disbelief. He looked into the distance with eyes filled with shock. Behind Tao Master Blue Dream and company, he saw Wang Lin, who was dressed in white, closing in. There was half a compass in Wang Lin's right hand. This compass looked very ordinary, without any aura, but when the Allseer saw it, his heart rumbled and the shock in his eyes turned into unimaginable fear. It's impossible, you can't find my original body. So what if you found my original body? I have awakened 99 times, I'm the heavenly Tao. The Allseer stared at Wang Lin and pointed at the sky. One body of heaven, all matter in the world, return to me, the Allseer roared, and the fog around him began to swirl and flew out. Space itself trembled and a giant mouth appeared. This mouth was blurry, but it immediately devoured. However, just as it was about to devour, the large mouth quivered strangely and collapsed. It dissipated from the star system. This caused the Allseer's expression to change again. "Do you really think this is your 99th awakening?" Wang Lin stepped closer, his voice cold. The Allseer silently pondered, then killing intent appeared in his eyes as he stared at Wang Lin. He charged at Wang Lin without hesitation. "My 3,000 avatars have fused. Even if I haven't completely awakened, I have the aura of the heavenly Tao. Before me, you are but an ant, you're not seven-colored soul. Even if you have my original body, I can kill you in an instant." The Allseer turned into a shadow and closed in on Wang Lin. However, at this moment, a flash of blue light appeared before him and Tao Master Blue Dream walked out. He waved his sleeves and hit the Allseer. The Allseer's expression was fierce. The moment Tao Master Blue Dream attacked, he let out a roar. "You also life formed by the heavenly Tao. You dare to block me?" The Allseer didn't care about Tao Master Blue Dream at all. He waved his right hand and collided with Tao Master Blue Dream. A thunderous rumble echoed. Tao Master Blue Dream's expression changed and he retreated a few steps. The Allseer's expression was gloomy and he didn't retreat at all. He moved even faster toward Wang Lin, now he was less than 100 feet from him. Wang Lin's expression was calm. He looked at the Allseer with a hint of contempt. As the Allseer closed in, Wang Lin spoke softly. "My body still belongs to me. Let the Tao dissipate." The Allseer, who was 90 feet from Wang Lin, trembled and a rune flashed on his chest. Ripples spread out from the rune and soon covered the Allseer's entire body. Amidst these ripples, all the comprehension of Tao inside the body he had taken from Wang Lin dissipated. Without the comprehension of Tao, there would no longer be any essences. The fire essence in his left eye collapsed and the thunder essence in his right eye shattered. Between his eyebrows, the slaughter, life and death, karma, and true and false essences all dissipated. Even the restriction essence in the blood veins in his eyes dissipated. One short instant later, no trace of any essence remained in the body the Allseer had taken from Wang Lin. All 7 essences had disappeared into the void. The body could be considered a bucket and the water inside was the essence. Tao comprehension was what made the bucket strong so there would be no leaks. Now all the water had leaked out from the bucket. The Allseer was startled and horror appeared in his eyes. He didn't expect something like this to happen. Something like this had never happened before in his previous awakenings. Wang Lin calmly looked at the Allseer and slowly said, "Let the origin soul scatter." As Wang Lin spoke, his avatar's origin soul, which had fused with the Allseer's 3,000 souls, became dim and dissipated. A cultivator without an origin soul was the same as a mortal. How could the body of a mortal withstand the occupation and fusion of the Allseer's 3,000 souls? After Wang Lin's avatar's origin soul dissipated, popping sounds came from the Allseer's body. His body trembled and began to show signs of collapse. The horror in the Allseer's eyes had reached its limit. He had schemed against the heavens, schemed against the earth, and even schemed against time. However, he was wrong for a second time against Wang Lin. He didn't expect Wang Lin to find his original body, and he didn't think Wang Lin could still control his avatar. This was impossible in his mind. He had already completely taken over this body and become an independent existence. Even now, he still didn't understand why this had happened. Why could Wang Lin still control this body? Why could Wang Lin make the Tao dissipate and origin soul scatter? While the Allseer was filled with fear and confusion, he heard Wang Lin's third sentence. "Let the soul die." After this, the Allseer's body trembled violently. He felt Wang Lin's soul, the one that had fused with this 3,000 souls, suddenly dissipate. The 3,000 souls fusion was perfect and could not be separated. However, when Wang Lin's soul dissipated, the perfection was broken. The Allseer's body collapsed and the remaining 2,999 souls erupted forth. "It's impossible. Impossible. Why is this so? You can still control this body. This doesn't align with the rules of this world." This doesn't follow the law of this world. I'm the heavenly Tao, I set the rules. All the bodies I take over belong to me. I know your memories. Even if you use the 3-life spell, you shouldn't be able to do this. Even if you were to die 1,000 times, I still won't die. You. Who are you? The 2,999 souls that had scattered turned into a fuzzy fog. This contained all the lives the Allseer devoured in his more than 90 awakenings. They were all roaring the same time. Who the hell are you? You are not 7 colored 3 souls or 7 fragments. You are just a mortal created from my cave. You can't do this, I refuse to believe this. You are just part of the heavenly Tao, but I'm the master of the heavenly Tao. Wang Lin looked at the 2,999 souls that were roaring at the same time. These souls were filled with madness and confusion along with pain and disbelief. After he said this, Wang Lin lifted his left hand and pointed to the spot between his eyebrows. The ancient god stars disappeared and were replaced by a vortex. This vortex gave off an ancient aura, and after moving his hand away from it, a ray of light shot out. The light instantly expanded to become a giant beast. Nether beast. When the nether beast appeared, it looked sluggish. Only a few people were around, so there was less chance of it being afraid. It looked around and then saw the fog created by the Allseer's 2,999 souls. It seemed attracted to the fog and unknowingly opened its mouth. Saliva seemed to flow out as it pondered. These souls looked very delicious. Heavenly Tao's master? Nether beast. This the nether beast. Could this beast have been formed by the other cluster of fog that separated from me? All of the Allseer's souls looked at the nether beast in shock. He naturally knew of the nether beast, but his body had been split apart by Lian Daofei, who had detonated his own origin soul. Over the countless years, he had lost connection with his other half. Otherwise, he wouldn't have used this method of 99 awakenings to regain control of reincarnation and find the other part of his body. The game is over, Allseer, Wang Lin spoke slowly, then he raised his right hand that held the half compass. He threw the compass directly into the nether beast's mouth. All of the Allseer's souls trembled and screamed. They desperately scattered and fled in 2,999 different directions. Tao Master Blue Dream and company wanted to pursue but were stopped by Wang Lin. Wang Lin looked at the nether beast chewing with its giant mouth in a daze. After a long time, the confusion disappeared and was replaced with a ruthless expression. Devour them. From now on, you will be complete. Wang Lin looked tired and sat down on the back of the nether beast. The nether beast suddenly opened its mouth and charged forward. The moment it opened its mouth, the 2,999 souls were shrouded in a suction force. They all screamed as they were sucked into the nether beast's giant mouth. Senior Blue Dream, Jing Lin, and Senior Hong Shan, I need to reform my cultivator avatar, so I won't return to the celestial realm with you all. Once I resolve my affair, I'll meet you guys at the celestial realm. Tell senior brother Qing Shui that it's best not to go out during this time and that I'll need his help once I return. Wang Lin clasped his hands at the 3 of them, looking even more tired. He sat on the back of the nether beast and slowly disappeared into the distance. The nether beast's eyes were completely ruthless. It was the same gaze it had when it devoured Lian Daofei. It was extremely terrifying. With the nether beast present, Wang Lin no longer feared anyone in the cave world. It wasn't until this moment that he obtained the qualification to vie for supremacy. This video will end here.